got it on.
And the red light comes up. Well, basically, I've met up with Stephen. Yeah. He's an old sort of friend that we sort of bumped into Stratford.
Yeah, a few years ago, and I never forgot you then.
No, and
you made such an impression because at that stage, I had just thought about starting a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anyone, but I was watching all the YouTubers.
Yeah.
And I saw in that area of the event. And so I came with 5 subscribers. That's all I had.
Right.
And you were so welcoming. And you said, "Well, where's your channel? You've got 6 subscribers now."
I love it. And that has been the, like, for me, Stephen, it's been the whole like story of like good people, you know, along this journey. And because we were the same. You start.
I know.
Like everybody starts a YouTube channel.
I know.
And basically, sort of like, and I said to Stephen this week, I've just said, if there's any way I can like help it. So we decided, you know, we're going to have a little chat with Stephen because he's such a nice guy.
Oh, he's
and I like I say, it's just I was sort of like saying to Stephen about his, you know, you're trying to get your YouTube going again now.
Yeah, so what happened, I started the channel a few years ago, and then it was growing.
Yes.
And, you know, I was doing well, and I was enjoying it, everything. Unfortunately, during the COVID time, I came down with COVID like everyone.
Yeah.
But in my job that I was doing at the time, we were made to have the Pfizer vaccinations. Now, I don't know if this is actual proper, but what happened, I have had 6 vaccinations.
Yeah.
It didn't stop me getting COVID.
No.
But the fact was, after I had COVID, I returned back to work. But the fact is, a year later, all the symptoms came back.
Yeah.
And later, I was diagnosed with what I've got now, deteriorating chronic fatigue syndrome.
Yeah, right.
You know, so I had to stop the channel for a year.
Yeah.
And now I've come back just this year trying to build it back.
Yeah.
But it's like starting from scratch again.
Sure. And that's one of the reasons I said to Stephen, you know, if I can help him in any way, if there's, you know, get onto Stephen's channel if anything's like that, you know, relevant to you and you want to make comments on this situation that Stephen's in, you know, get on your Wheels on Wheels. He's motorhome, and he's like I say, I'm just sat in his motorhome now, and we're just sort of saying the fact that in this motorhome, it's light, it's airy, it's colourful, and he is the friendliest guy on the planet. That's what, mate. And it's nice to, you know, you sort of like come to these meetings and want to meet people, and that's what life is all about, isn't it?
It is, and I was determined that my disability wasn't going to stop my 2 loves in life.
Yeah, sure.
And my 2 loves in life all go together.
Yeah.
It's music. I'm a musician as well.
Sure.
So wherever I go around these meetings, I always bring the guitar, and we have a little gathering. And I'll do about as much as I can do until my energy levels are exhausted. And then, of course, it goes along with the camper van, the motorhome. You know, I will just put my 2 loves together and just do it as long as I can.
That's fantastic, mate. Well, I say that's what. Well, I'm gonna actually put this out, mate. It's probably a separate video, mate. If we can probably like chat away for about 10 minutes, do you know what I mean? Which is not a problem.
Not with me, because I'm talking all the time.
And you know, I sort of talk for England and got the question.
I talk for Wales.
He talks for Wales. We're talking for England. So it's just a great I'll tell you what, Stephen. Like I say, with me on my YouTube, I love to sort of like help people out. Do you know what I mean? And this week, if you've been like people that watch our channel, we try and international relationships, helping out Swiss people with their oil changes and stuff like that.
You told me about
and basically that's what I love, you know, and it's passing on kind of information, pointing people in the right direction. And like I said to you, if there's any way I can help you out on your channel,
so kind.
Honestly, mate, it's an absolute bloody pleasure.
That's
you know?
so kind, because I feel that, you know, YouTube, it doesn't sort of help sort of if you're 0 followers or you're starting off again, and you need that push for them to push the videos forward a bit more. Well, and at the moment, as I said, you know, I'm like back to square one.
Yeah, it can be. I'll tell you what, our journey, like, so, you know, my journey on like YouTube is exactly so. I do it for kind of like passion. I love that kind of, and this is the ultimate reason why I do YouTube, mate.
Yeah.
Because to meet people like yourself. Otherwise, you wouldn't probably be doing that.
Oh, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. You know, you just think how life has changed since YouTube began, and you began a channel. That's the thing with me. If I hadn't had this camper van, then I wouldn't have started a YouTube channel,
no.
and I wouldn't have met the crowd of great friends that I've got, including yourself, now in the community that we've all got in common.
Yeah, sure.
The love of getting out and about in camper vans.
Yeah. And to be honest, Steve, like with me, you know, that little sort of thing about subscribe, you know, so, you know, it might tick up a couple, and, you know, people know how, like, I sort of, like, strive for it, and you strive on, but it's not the kind of be all. If you enjoy it,
that's what
if you enjoy it, and you put out the you know, the sort of, like, I put out what I kind of want, do you know what I mean? Like I say, I love, like, talking to you, mate, today, on a Sunday morning, absolutely fantastic, you know?
And the voice is a bit hoarse, as you can
Yeah, we've
tell.
been singing A Hard Day's Night all night.
And with me, you're talking all evening, and if I've been singing as well, that's it. And so this is the morning after the night before.
And that's right. And I love the fact that, you know, like, people can, like, look at this and say, Stephen looks the most, and he is. I can genuinely tell you that Stephen is the most, like, friendly, approachable. You know, a lot of people, we want to, you know what I mean? And I love that kind of, like, I've been stood out there this morning, and there's people walking, and it's that community of, like, so you've broken the first barrier of, like, good morning. You know, people are sort of like, good morning, how, you know, and chatty.
Right. I know.
And that's what you get in the motorhome community.
You do,
you know?
and as long as you break the ice, majority of people will always have a chat.
Sure.
You know, and the amount of chats I've had over the Elson. You know, people want to tell you their life story.
Oh yeah, that's right. You know, and while I do it, Stephen, like, I used to do, like, washing up with a view. You know, you go and do your dishes on campsites in crazy, and you think, this is better than looking out my front room window.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? The locations, even in Malvern, we're in Malvern, in Worcestershire, and this setting, I was sat out there last night, and I thought I was in the Pecos. I was sort of starting to drip. The sun was up there. I thought I was in the Pecos Mountains, mate, in northern Spain. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I'm just away with the fairies, you know.
I know, and it's great then when you're sort of walking around and you bump into familiar faces that you haven't seen for ages, and then people come up to you, and it's just a great vibe, and the great community that we've all got. Yeah, you know.
Do you sort of do a lot of Warner's like? What?
Yeah, I do as many as I can do in the area. Obviously, I'm from South Wales, so I'll do the ones like within about 100 miles.
Yeah,
which
sure.
is usually like
Shepton
and Malvern.
Yes.
Newbury.
Okay, those type M4
of
corridor kind of thing.
Yeah, anywhere else is like up north and too far, 5-6 hours travelling.
And you come from, like, South Wales, what part?
I'm from South Wales, Bridgend.
Okay,
So if you look on the map, you've got Cardiff, Barry Island, Gavin.
I know,
and then you got Bridgend, and then that's the area I'm from. So when I'm not sort of travelling around like these places, I'll just stay local.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Stephen, like, you know, we've got great memories along that coastline. I don't know whether, so just the other side of Newport was a pub called the Lighthouse. There was like a pub stop over.
I know it.
And I don't know whether there was I don't know whether it's open or closed. I need to sort of, like, find out maybe. But we got some great memories of going down that coast.
I know the pub. I haven't actually stayed there. It's in a little area called St Bride's, which is between the outskirts of Cardiff and Newport.
Sure.
And it's right overlooking the estuary there.
St Bride's Bay and stuff like that.
Yeah, the last time I heard about it had closed down. Yeah,
sure. Yeah, I think we got there, and we had, like, it was just a nice place. Again, for me, it felt a totally different, you know, so you come out of, like, Devon, and then you're in South Wales, out on that water. It was just like escapism. Do you know what I mean? Real escape down there. And like I say, we used to go down to Pembrokeshire years ago, Newgale, all that, you know, sort of. It's just a beautiful area, and sometimes you don't. We're the same in Devon, Stephen. We try. I sort of try and get out about a bit now and, like, poke the camera around, and you don't sort of appreciate how nice it is where you live.
That's true. It's true. I've always lived by the sea, right up on the coast. But in the last 5-6 years, I'm more inland.
Yeah.
But the fact, when you actually return back to the areas that you were originally from, overlooking the sea and the water, you know, then it comes back to you then as what people have always said. Oh, you live in a beautiful part of the country.
Fantastic.
But, you know, when you're there and you see it every day, you just don't even blink.
No.
You just see it, but you never take it in.
Yeah.
And then when you go back years later, you see it through different eyes.
Yeah, definitely. well, it would be great, like, to see, like, you know, I'm sort of thinking of I would probably watch you, Stephen, if you were sort of saying you need to come down to this place here in South Wales. Do you know what I mean? Just as an idea for you.
Well, I do quite a few in the area, but I do sort of socialise quite a bit. It's called Porthcawl.
Okay.
Now anyone from South Wales or maybe a bit further, if they come down to the coast in South Wales, it's usually Barry Island or further along Porthcawl.
Fantastic.
And Porthcawl have got the fact of they got the biggest Elvis festival in the world.
Yeah, right, okay.
And that'll be happening next month in September.
Right.
And they'll have like a rock and roll weekend beforehand.
This is the information we need.
Yeah, and anyone who loves music, it's packed out down there.
Is it? Right, yeah.
But because it's only about 20 minutes from where I live, I quite often will go down on, say, midweek, and the pubs down in Porthcawl are second to none because there's always live music.
Is there?
And because I'm a musician as well, I combine the motorhome with my passion of the guitar.
Nice.
So I'll go to an open mic night.
Yes, yeah.
And then I will go up and enjoy the lovely evening with fellow-minded people, musicians and music lovers, do a few songs, then crawl back to the camper van.
I need to get down there. I need to get there. He's selling it to me. He's Stephen, you're selling it to me.
Sell it to me.
You know, Porthcawl says,
I know.
You know, full up with Elvis Presley's, you know.
Well, I'm not an Elvis lover, but I can handle a couple of songs.
Yeah.
But anyone who loves music, entertainment, there's something going on all the time.
Wow.
And as I said, you know, so it's my favourite little location, and it's local, and I make the most of it while I can, you know.
That is fantastic, mate. I'll tell you what, Stephen, it has been. I think we've sort of got a whole video here. This thing's been rolling for 12 minutes.
Oh, God.
Okay, and mate,
time flies when we're enjoying ourselves.
It's been a total absolute pleasure, mate, bumping into you this afternoon, mate.
Great job.
And this is the people, you know, Stephen, the friendliest guy on the planet. Honestly, I love you, mate. I really do.
Thank you.
And so approachable. So anybody watching this and you bump into Stephen, all right, check out his channel. And I'm gonna have to start, like, you know, keeping up to date with Stephen and sort of like giving him some more pointers and say we want to see more of Porthcawl. We want to see more of their music venues. And all that kind of thing.
I will put a video together.
Yeah, it's you know, and like I say, that's why, you know, it's good to have a little chat and sort of try and push you in sort of maybe some different directions and you know, with your YouTube and I'm fingers crossed, mate, we can get him some more subscribers. I'm sure of it. So if you haven't pushed the button on Stephen's channel before, you know, hop over there, push the button and give him support, give him a comment, and look, is he sold Porthcawl, Bridget, South Wales? He's an absolute marvel. So we'll shake your hands once again, mate. That is it from us.
Thank you.
At Malvern.
Lovely
Stunning.
to meet you again.
Absolutely brilliant. Thanks,
Till the
mate.
next time.
Absolutely.